To my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and you're catching me at True Divine 44, or you can get me on other socials if you check them out in the description box and follow, whatever it is on whatever platform that you are on. It all helps. It all helps with business. It all helps with connections and spreading the message, getting to know one another better on a wider scale. So if you want a personal reading with me, any energy work or any spiritual coaching sessions, you can get in touch with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com. If local to me, you can book in for an energy flow massage, which is full body. And I appreciate all of the new clients more than you know. So share this out, give it a like. I appreciate it very much. So again, it helps a lot. I've had to recently deal with somebody impersonating my business on Facebook and myself with my profile picture and exact same profile banner. And so pushing people, being very, very, very pushy. Towards people to try and give them so-called readings, having read their energy, which is why I got a bit angry yesterday when some of those popped up in the chat via, again, the virus that is Facebook. And so, but it's necessary for business. And so you've got to dance with the devil where you need to sustain your own. Sustain your own. And I have to sustain my kids. So this is for the June the 16th of the year 2021. That has been an interesting year, very much so thus far. And so we continue to go down these spirals, these rabbit holes. We continue to, on one side, evolve, and on another side of the collective devolve. We're hooked into something here. We're in the throes of something huge, something big. And it's up to us in our individual lives to act as individuals in divinity and sovereignty in order to lift and direct the direction that we go in much more forcefully. So going into the reading for today, I'll just shut this down so it doesn't beep. Going into the reading today, we have got on, as we're going to the first card, let's say, we've got the High Priestess. So again, I did a video regarding the High Priestess and the explanation of this beautiful card. Have a look at that on some of the Writing on the Wall videos. This very much speaking to the balance of the divine feminine and divine masculine, the Boaz and Jashen, the pillars of existence, the opposing forces found within. It is about the hidden, the occult, what has been hidden away, the disconnecting dots of the circuit board of knowledge that is used against us in a great way by many in our individual lives and the so-called powers that be, and is also protected. That's on the lower frequency side of things, and is also on the higher frequency side of things protected through necessity. My words today. Necessity. This veil with pomegranates on the back, depicting the entry into the womb, into the sacred place, hiding the sacred pool of knowledge of all time. And so there's a protection mechanism here to protect that of the water. She's got her foot on the moon, on the crescent of the moon. She's got her cross, her balance point within her energy points that would depict that as above, so below, as within, so without. It would also depict the Taurus bull horns here, the mother. This speaks of divine feminine energy, very much so. And this also speaks of what happened, and as what has been so detrimental is, for the most part, the importance and reverence of the divine feminine, represented very much so in the realm here, in this 3D, in the female form. This is where it has deliberately been hidden away. The powers of it, the wisdom of it, the intuition, the psychic nature of it has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller in our consciousness. We think we know what divine feminine brings, but it has been at such a low level in comparison to what we had before this particular hijack, before this particular very long cycle of many plans put into motion. It would blow most people's minds. And I think this is, when I read this card today, it was, that old adage that went around the churches where you can't really see his face. It would be too much for any human to, talking about God, it would be too much for any human to withstand that kind of energy, that kind of power. More and more, I feel that it was a message coming through, that it was talking more about the true power of the divine feminine that has been deliberately downtrodden. Now, that's happened with the divine masculine also, and the male form that represents the divine masculine in this realm. Because you take out this kind of connecting dot, you don't have to actively take out both. You can take out this kind of connector, this kind of conduit to a circuit board of knowledge that works, that is balanced, that is whole. Once you take out one component, the other component cannot be in its true power either, cannot be transmuted through in its true form, in its true power either. These being opposing forces that match each other, the two divinities that raise each other up, that learn and explore from each other. Think about in the physical realm how a man lusts to explore a woman. Now, a very wise man doesn't just want to explore the body. No, wants to connect with the spirit, connect with the soul. Read that divine feminine and awaken things within her, letting her know how powerful she is, and bringing forth as a conduit in his actions of exploration that knowledge, that wisdom, that intuition, the power of the divine feminine. So in taking out just one component of this divine circuit board, then they degrade the masculine. They even degrade the masculine in great numbers and have it so distorted in this realm that it would attack its own mother, that it would attack its own representation, partner of the divine feminine in the female. We now have very masculine thought patterns in women attacking other women. We've degraded ourselves to such a point that with the recent videos that have been talking about them making transgender a genuine thing for very few into a weapon. So more and more territory of the woman has been flagged, has been claimed, and then hidden away. Just like more and more of the hidden knowledge that this divine feminine card represents, hidden beyond the veil. And now actually there is a wisdom in keeping this knowledge, unless it's to somebody who is seeking it, unless it's to somebody who has been capable of leveling up through this lifetime, through this experience and previous experiences, but that has been able to bring memory forward. Because to give this kind of pool of knowledge, the same pool that I feel it's depicted Odin visited and gave his own eye to, the right side too, the divine feminine. I feel that the neophyte coming up today, with the amount of distortion and imbalance and misrepresentation, the neophyte entering into this pool that holds all knowledge beyond this veil, beyond this portal, beyond this womb, they could cause havoc. They could rip holes in realities, because this knowledge does have a great responsibility. That's why this knowledge should not be unlocked by anything less than a master, anything less than a knight, a king. And so we've got the Three of Pentacles to clarify the High Priestess. So we go from the 2 to the 3, the 2 in the major arcana, the duality, the two divinities within, to the 3 of Pentacles. So what is happening with the divinities within people is happening on the outside in the physical. This we know. There are many people though grouping together and working together, and I feel this is the day where we see that to be discerning over what groups you get into. I think we're all called at this time to those who can see and hear anyway. We're all called at this time to bring our individual experience, our individual skill sets, our individual thought processes, emotions, and bring that forward from the pool of the collective unconscious pool that is hidden beyond this veil. But be very discerning about the fact that secret societies that this card could represent also, they got themselves in a real pickle, because a lot of them within those groups have aided the shadowy beings that even they don't know about on the most part, that helped take this knowledge in the first place. So it comes to mind that the French often, well, not often, more often than not, will allow the children to have, a thimbleful, practically a small glass of wine with their meal. It's actually legal in the UK to allow your child to have a glass of wine with a meal. And this is shown that they don't have the teenage alcoholism problem that we have in the UK, which is terrible. The numbers are frightening. We don't have teenagers feeling like they're doing something naughty. So they don't do it in France. Here we have them, hemmed in a lot of ways. So they find ways, like kids do, to explore outside of the boundaries. So the more boundaries that you put up, as a parent, if you micromanage your child, or you live in a state, in a country that is actively taking over and micromanaging your child more and more and more, you actually lead them to a place of a much harder life, of a much harder experience, because naturally children are made to explore. There's nothing more enticing than exploring over a fence, over a boundary that you're not allowed to explore, that you've been micromanaged and hemmed into. So they do explore all the more, which means in the UK, they explore all the more with something they don't know the power of. They don't know the true intent of it, to break bread and share wine, not to get drunk. So they go too far. They haven't been brought up with that knowledge. They haven't been drip, 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 drip fed with the reality and the enjoyment of anything like that, because they've had a glass of wine, red and white, with sparkling, with their meal. And so it's not something to explore further, because it's something they're already allowed to explore. So the interest is lessened. And so this is where I feel secret societies, in at first being led by and doing the deeds of the hijackers, those who came in and seek to raid, rape and pillage both physical people and the knowledge. The churches in particular, those who did that have got us in such a sticky situation now, because now we do have such a level of neophyte, even within these so-called secret societies. And so the knowledge has gotten more and more hidden. The boundaries have gotten higher and higher. So when people are breaking through at this awakening time, because of the contradictions are very clear to see, even a buffoon can see. Unless you're a sleeping zombie already, there's something to see right now about the contradictions of the rules that are being passed down. And so, with this being said, there are a lot of people getting activated in that sense, but they are neophytes. They don't tie up the dualistic system. They don't tie up the spiritual, the hidden, and the knowledge and the physical, and how those two correlate. So there are a lot of groups forming that great news, but there are a lot of groups that are not maintaining individualism in each and every member and each and every person. There are groups forming that are starting to hem people in and, you know, give over a certain type of knowledge, give over a certain type of intent and drive. And so this is something to be very wary of, be very discerning about today, of what groups you join or what cliques you find yourself in. Because the neophytes within these certain groups that are entering into a level of awakening in the physical, but never been fed a drop from this pool that this high priestess protects. This is dangerous, spiraling behavior that's coming out here. And so you don't want to be tarnished energetically or in the physical by being a part of such. So I'm working with certain groups, but I'm keeping an eye on and being very discerning of the energy and the feel and the intent behind the force that goes behind those groups. Being very careful who I associate with, and it is always up for deliberation within myself. It's always up for a new measuring. And so be aware of this for sure today. Long-winded, but interesting to see it unfold, and actually the true duality of everything. You know, you fight for wisdom and knowledge, and you fight for all to know it, and you realize that that's not wise. It can't work like that now. It doesn't work like that now. There isn't going to be a mass one whole population of the world awakening. Where we've gotten to now, that's impossible. And so there are going to be some people that get in the way of your own awakening if you're not super discerning. There are going to be some people that with this teamwork of the hidden intent behind the infusion, all of that, there is this, sense of loss through this teamwork, this collective of puppets that are pulling this down the line for the collective, and all of the rules and regulations and infusions. So we're seeing the impact on many different levels, and this is where we have to dig deep into our wisdom in what our intent is directed towards, and have wisdom backing every intent. So we've got the Knight of Cups as the next card. So this would speak of the master. It's cups. There's a cup. Think of Odin's horn. There's a cup of that he drinks from. There's a cup of that pool of the collective unconscious. There is an amount. Now, a cup of anything, like Wayne has mentioned before, has the force and energy to cause a tsunami used the right way. And so this could be an exploration of the divine feminine in its rightful state, either within yourself or within yourself and another. And it can be a very destructive force if it is passed over by somebody who is a neophyte and is coming to explore the divine feminine with a small amount of this pool water that has great knowledge, great wisdom within it, but the knight not understanding what power and force he has within the cup, so does not know how to use it at all or correctly. We've got the Hermit card, as the clarifying card for the Knight of Cups. And so this speaks of that discerning inner journey, continuous inner journey of this cup that comes from this pool, that comes from the same pool that the star card, we mentioned that yesterday, represents. This cup that has everything in it that you need. This is where the hermit really engages with that and really goes on the depths of an inner journey, an inner trip, to be absorbed in the water, to allow it to infuse you with the wisdom and knowledge by being brave enough to be the hermit and look at where you need to let go, where you need to expand, where you need to heal before you present a cup in anyone else's direction or any other thing's direction. So the opportunity for huge amounts of wisdom and inner standings and downloads today is for sure powerful, but only for those who know to walk the hermit's path, only for those who can let go of ego enough to explore self, a little bit more. Even if you think you're doing it and you're doing it well, you are. But pushing it that little bit more, pushing those boundaries that little bit more. Because the connections that people can make in their individual lives today is huge. A lot of people waking up today, particularly in the UK, and having the desire to be alone, to question what is in this cup and to question why you are where you are in your individual lives, and walk that hermit's walk within, to find the enlightenment within that, and then draw the knowledge and wisdom from this cup to heal from that, to heal those wounds, to let go of what needs to be let go of. And so the next card we have is the Judgment card. Again, this speaks of the body of water I'm drawn to today in this card, in that you can see there are these people, almost a family, generations. Again, the balance of the two, divine masculine, divine feminine, the combination, the equalizer between the two opposing forces, the spark of life, this child on the middle, which you could take it many ways. This could represent literally your two divinities within, and you're the physical representation in this child that is in the middle. That you get born again with the Judgment card, with the letting go of that has lumbered you down, and you get born again in the water, in your boat. You reconnect to your soul, your boat, which could look like a coffin. So you die to something that is old and you're renewed and restored to something that is new. You could also look at soul family, where you feel so tied to certain people, certain groups, that you really do recognize that you are a part of this, you're a part of this family. It resonates with you that way. But if you see here, the body of water is actually in the middle, where other people on the other side are emerging from the similar caves, the similar tombs, the similar coffins or boats, vessels. So there's something about vessels today, something about water today that is very powerful, that some of you are drawing from and getting such wisdom and such inner standing to go forward with, that it is mind-blowing. It's hard to convey in words. And then there are some people that are exposed to the same water, they're exposed to this same pool, but it's almost like they're afraid of what these people on this side have not been afraid of doing, which I'm hearing like the river of Styx. They haven't been afraid to cross that river of Styx, where actually you stand in judgment most of all to yourself, against yourself. And this card is about, it's 20, it's a 2, duality again, going back to the 2 with the High Priestess at the very start of the reading. To be able to access the knowledge and wisdom beyond this veil, within this pool of water that represents this collective unconsciousness, there needs to be a level of acceptance in this realm, for whatever reasons, in that there's an acceptance of a certain amount of pain, of a certain amount of suffering for one's art, a certain amount of training, leveling up through the experiences, which would be depicted as the river of Styx, to get on the path, to get to your rightful path. And that rightful path involves crossing the water. It also speaks to me of, if you look at this, it's more like a sea between the two of them. And so for those who aren't able, they're on this journey nevertheless, but they're not able to see that. They're not able to see this maybe necessary sacrifice for the re-establishing, regaining of the lost knowledge, of the lost wisdom, to help rebalance this place. There is this feeling that if this is salt water, and you're presented with it nevertheless, but you don't have that wisdom and inner standing of what you need to do, if you continue to just want to have an easy life, if you continue to just want to conform, because that's what it means right now to have this depicted easy life, would be to go as far as to say you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. So it's an illusion that it is easy. It's just that it's in the hands, it's in the decision making of another. But nevertheless, you're in this sea. And if you don't know, if you don't have the wisdom to go without, to fast, maybe that's coming through as a knowledge today, to drink water and leave the salt behind, to go without the nourishment of water, maybe, for 3 days. This would mean that, you would be in a sea, a body of water, but you're not afraid to be submerged in that. You're not afraid to eventually swim to shore through that river of Styx and go without to do so. So you would trial your body, because you can't drink of it. You can absorb it through the skin, but you can't drink from it. So to go without, to get to that soul's path, to get to that journey and absorb that wisdom through osmosis, absorbing it through the skin and holding it and being truly submissive to it, to not be afraid of the emotions, the watery body, going back to that hermit card energy. This is where you do get the rightful passing. For those who have not known that, part of this realm, part of this journey, for the longest time, if not ever, has involved some level of suffering, some level of pain, that itself can be a portal to beyond the veil, to that pool of knowledge, some level of sacrifice. So again, we see the separation of the two. Now that comes up with clarified by the devil. Da, da, da. And so this devil card, the saying now I'm hearing is, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Well, yes, as long as you know your inner devil, as long as you know yourself enough that you can be honest with self and clear with self about the experiences of the man, the experiences of the woman. It's number 15, which would come down to a 6. The 6 proton, 6 neutron, 6 electron. But you're okay with every cell of yourself. Getting okay with that and knowing the chains that bind you and knowing what you've lifted and liberated yourself up from, this is where you have the wisdom and ability to accept who you are and to know every cell and be okay enough that you can swim through that river of Styx without a drink. Because you already know yourself. So if you're okay with yourself, you can absorb things from a different perspective, without ego, without limitation. But it also speaks to some people having real trouble getting on their soul's path. Some people are just asleep, lost, done. But other people that are there, their spirit, their spark is still there, but they're having real trouble getting to this soul's path, but they know they're being urged to do so. And this would be for a lot of people addictions to drugs, alcohol, addictions to sex, to the point where you're either sacrificing your sacred divine feminine womb, or you're it's sacrilege to your own divine feminine within, male or female, because you're not approaching it as a master. You're approaching it with all of the bonds and things that bind you. A lot of people, knowing that they're in a relationship that does not resonate with them, that in fact at times can be downright dangerous, but continuing to not be okay with self enough, not to know self enough, not to do that hermit's journey, that they continue to bind themselves to something that is nothing more than a misunderstanding of their inner devil, of their inner root. Not having absolute confidence in themselves to cross that river of Styx. To go without, to not have a fixed knowing that it's all going to be okay, but do have a knowing that regardless of the okayness level, you can handle it. And to not stay tied to something, someone, some belief system, just because you're afraid of doing that, afraid of being alone. Therefore, not to take the chance on what you feel is your path, but to stay with something that you feel bound to. Interesting day. So we've got the King of Cups. Again, this cup, this master that is able to have the authority, the poise, and absolutely be the master to take the role of being able to channel the emotions rather than the emotions channeling him. So this is where today, yes, we could say generic things about the king of an authority over the emotions, but everything that we've discussed today is such of a high level of a deep wisdom that's coming forward from the cards. This is where there is much more to this masculine figure represented here, in that to get to his throne, to be the king, he's actually gone through each and every one of these stages. He's actually sacrificed a lot, even his eye if need be, to give over. Magic is all about giving over, give and take. You create something by giving and taking something. And so this is where he has actually gained that throne through the necessary sacrifice. So it might be that a lot of people having wounds that have been either explored as a female by neophytes, by narcissistic neophytes, by by even beings that are very much in this occult knowledge, in this esoteric knowledge at a high level, but of a low frequency. There's a lot of healing for that today. There's a lot of healing for those that have not had ritual done to them the way ritual should be, a beautiful, sensual, and uplifting experience, but have had the darkest of the dark things thrust upon them. And so this is where we might feel this collectively as empaths today, but it's also where individual lives, this is where you don't write off, for some of you that is, and you'll know if this resonates with you, don't write off the opportunity that has come up for you regarding a master coming and ready and willing and able with wisdom to explore. Because for some of you, that is a part of your gift today. For some of you, that is an aspect of the journey that you've done, that you can rest in the knowledge that there's nothing wrong with this person exploring you, or you allowing this person to explore you. And that brings deep healing. It also speaks of the Empress card. I know, I mean, Major Arcana Avenue. It's like jammed up in here with heavy hitting, beautiful, powerful energies. So the Empress card coming from the 2 going to the 3. Again, we've got another 3 here. That would be 6. We'll go to the 6 with the Devil. Let's see. Nine. Okay, no. So 6 is all around that want to come forward. Again, the man, the manifestation of the human form, the vessel that carries whatever being is animating it, and there are many, I feel. The Empress card speaks of abundance. It speaks of the wisdom of bringing forth that from the 2, bringing forth that from the Magician, to put into the 3 of where your thoughts, your words, and your deeds create your reality. So to be super focused, super intentful of not just your words, but even your thoughts. And this came up yesterday too. Be the master in being able to not let emotions run you over, not letting bodies of water drown you, but for you to use them, to channel them, to swim them, to float on them, in order to be very cognizant and much more in control of even your own thoughts. You know, the duality in the system is beautiful and immense and awesome and breathtaking and at times truly frustrating. But all of this thought police, words of watch your thoughts, you know, because we're watching or we're listening, the technologies that they're using and frequencies that they're using to actually implant thoughts. This is where they're playing again. They're playing in the gods and goddess playground that they don't belong in. And so this is where we do need to say that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Knowledge comes up on all sides everywhere, and that the universe can be using that to give you a warning of this deeper, impactful knowledge, and that your organic thoughts, the thoughts that you determine or should determine, are most powerful of all. This is why they work so hard to form your thoughts, to create thought forms, because then that energy can be channeled and used with this 3 of Pentacles to bring into fruition. Again, 3 and 3, 6, bring into fruition into the physical realm. So in getting this knowledge today, in understanding this knowledge today, again, here, 6 of wands, victory. You can either be a victim to it, or you can either be a victor to it. It's one or the other. The middle ground, it seems as though some will course through for a little while longer, and the rest will fall down into victimhood. So be aware of that. So that's the reading for the 16th of June 2021. This is recorded, so I'll put it over Restream. Hopefully I'll be able to pop in the chat and discuss things with you if you have any questions. So get there when you can. If not, leave a comment under this video, and of course reach out to me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com for any personal readings, energy flow sessions, or any spiritual coaching sessions. And of course, if you're local, you can have excellent massage and have all of your energy flowing freely through your body and feel like you're walking on air if you're local. So much love, balance, and much wholeness. Remember, like and share. I appreciate it so much, and I'll see you real soon.